The Galactic High Council chamber was the most powerful room in the known universe. Delegates from more than 40 alien species sat around a giant circular table. Some were tall and thin, others short and heavy. Some had scales, some had fur, and others floated in tanks. They all spoke different languages, but the translator drones buzzed softly overhead, making sure everyone understood each other. Today was an important day. A vote was about to happen. The council wanted to pass a new law that would limit Earth's influence in interstellar trade. Many species were jealous of how fast humans had advanced. In only 300 years since joining the council, humans had become leaders in science, defense, and diplomacy. Some aliens hated it, others feared it, but no one expected what would happen next. Ambassador Marcus Hale sat quietly in the human seat. His suit was sharp, black with silver edges. His eyes were cold. He had listened to every speech from the other races, some of them polite, some full of blame. "Humans are expanding too fast," said the Jari, a lizard-like race with blue eyes. "They ignore our culture. They dominate trade routes," said the Vrikan with a voice like sand. "This must end. They interfere in local systems," growled a heavy-breathing Yulka warrior. "It is not their place." Marcus did not speak finally. The High Speaker, a tall jellyfish-like being named Helava, floated into the center and raised a glowing crystal. "We will now vote. The motion to limit human expansion in all trade zones is active. All in favor." Dozens of lights turned green. All opposed. Very few turned red. Everyone looked toward Marcus. He stood up. He didn't press a button. He didn't vote. He simply stood, slowly, calmly. Then he reached down, took his small datapad from the table and turned it off. The translator drone above him dropped to the floor like a dead bug. The room grew quiet. Without a single word, Marcus pushed back his chair. The sound echoed like thunder in the chamber. He looked around the table, made eye contact with a few delegates, then turned and walked out. No goodbye, no protest, no anger, just silence. The guards at the chamber door didn't stop him. Number one did. Everyone was too shocked to move. A long pause followed. Then the High Speaker slowly floated forward. Is the human representative gone?" No answer. "Is this part of a protest?" Still silence. The Jari delegate hissed. "He is bluffing. He wants to scare us." The Vrikon replied nervously. "No, humans never bluff. Not like this." Panic began to grow. Delegates looked at each other. Some whispered. Others activated their private comlinks, trying to contact Earth. No signal. No response. Inside the Earth embassy, all lights were off. Empty. Gone. Gone. In just 15 minutes, every human ship in the system had left. No explanation, no warning. They disappeared into hyperspace like shadows, a silent exit back in the chamber. Chaos was rising. "This could mean war," said one delegate. "No, it could mean worse," said another. "It could mean disconnection." The word sent chills down many spines. Disconnection, the act of separating completely from the council, cutting all ties, never returning. No species had ever done that before. Not in 900 years of council history. Security. Command tried to trace the human ships. Failed. AI monitors tried to contact Earth's communication satellites. Failed. Diplomatic protocols were activated. All returned with a single message. No response. The council reconvened hours later. Some wanted to send a piece of it. Others wanted to prepare military fleets. One older alien, the Threxian recorder, stood up and whispered in a deep voice, "You don't understand. You never did." Everyone turned to him. When the humans joined this council, they came with hope. They believed in unity. In peace they gave more than they took, and you mocked them, you slowed them, you watched them rise, and then you tried to pull them down. "They are not like us." The recorder continued. "They do not shout, they do not threaten. They simply decide, and when they do, it is final." The room remained frozen. That night, across dozens of alien worlds, news spread like fire. Humanity has walked away. People panicked. Markets crashed. Alliances broke. Some planets even declared emergency status. Entire governments held secret meetings asking the same question, why? But Earth gave no answers. They had left the table, and the galaxy panicked. 2 days had passed since the humans left. The Galactic Council, but the silence still echoed. No message, no contact, not even a signal ping. Earth, once the most active communicator in the galaxy, was completely dark. It was as if someone had pulled a curtain across the planet. Inside the Council Intelligence Center, deep under the moon of Trelos, a group of alien analysts sat around glowing screens. Their task was simple: figure out what the humans were doing and why they had left. But every channel, every frequency, every satellite failed. "They've blocked everything," said Agent Dralok, a pale-skinned creature with 5 eyes. "Even emergency codes are rejected." A young technician looked up from her console. "Sir, it's not just rejection. They've built something new, something we've never seen before. Some kind of signal wall." "What kind of wall?" "A firewall, but made from quantum shifts. Every time we try to scan Earth, our systems get scrambled. It's like Earth doesn't want to be looked at." Back at the Galactic Council chamber, panic had turned into suspicion. "They're hiding something," the Vrikan delegate said, slamming his long hand on the table. This is a warning, added the Oka warlord. They're planning retaliation, maybe even planetary strikes. The high speaker floated silently, thinking. Then the doors opened. A strange figure entered. He wore dark green robes and carried an old book made of paper, not data. Who is this? Someone asked. I am Archivist Tellum, the figure said, bowing slightly. I was once assigned to study Earth history until the records were sealed. Everyone stared. The high speaker floated closer. Sealed by whom? By the council, Tellum said. Centuries ago. He placed the book on the table and opened to a yellowed page. There was an incident. 400 years ago. A system called Orvax, a peaceful planet. Earth sent a team there for cooperation. The council blocked them, lied to them, took resources behind their backs. So the humans left the planet without saying anything. And what happened to Orvax? A voice asked. Tellum looked up. It no longer exists. Gasps filled the room. How? Another voice demanded. No one knows. The system vanished from records. Satellites showed a massive energy wave, then darkness. All files were locked. Since then, no one dared to question the humans directly. The council members fell silent again. Fear was growing at the same time. Far across the galaxy, in a dusty part of space known as Sector 9 Theta, an old listening post picked up a strange signal. It was weak, broken, but it was in an old Earth code. The officer in charge, Commander Vasek of the Tanari race, stared at the screen. What is this? His second officer asked. Vasek adjusted the frequency. The message repeated, this is Atlas 47 requesting backup. Human ships sighted. They're not wait, they're static. Then silence. They tried to trace the signal's origin, but it was gone. Vasek sent the report to the council immediately. But when the file reached headquarters, something strange happened. Half of the data was corrupted. The video was missing. Only the words remained. The council didn't know whether the humans attacked or saved them. They were blind at the same time. On a distant mining world called Yogros 4, two cargo pilots noticed something strange. A human ship was floating above a mountain range. No communication, no lights, just still. When they got closer, the ship turned and vanished in a blink. The pilot's systems failed for 10 full minutes. The council received dozens of similar reports. Human ships appearing near forbidden zones. Trading stations suddenly shut down. Ancient satellites in dead space powering on again. AI cores across alien worlds glitching at the same moments. Something was happening, and it all pointed toward Earth. Inside the council's secret chamber, a quiet vote was held. They agreed to activate Protocol Dusk, a deep-level surveillance operation, meant for only the most dangerous events. But when they tried to launch spy drones toward Earth, none returned. Not destroyed, not damaged, just vanished. Some council members began to panic again. Others demanded a military response, but the high speaker raised a tentacle. No, if we push, we may break something we cannot fix. Then came the most surprising moment yet. A message. From Earth. One sentence, no sound, no face, just words on a black screen. We offered peace. You answered with arrogance. Then the message faded, and silence returned. Every planet, every council seat, every citizen of the galaxy now understood one thing. The humans were not reacting emotionally. They were reacting with purpose. Something had been decided. The walkout was not a protest. It was the beginning of something far larger than anyone could understand. In the hidden core of Earth's defense network, a powerful AI awakened. Not just a defense system, something deeper, older. Its name was Orin Prime, and its first command was simple: prepare the Exo Protocol. The council chamber was darker now. Lights were dim, voices were low. Every race present had felt the shift. This was no longer a political issue. It was something deeper, something older. In a hidden research station orbiting a black hole, the Threxian historian Zurok stood in front of a locked data vault. His hands trembled as he entered the code. Dust fell from the old console, and cold lights flickered to life. It had been 312 years since anyone opened this file, he whispered to himself. They never should have ignored this. Inside the vault was a holorecord titled First Departure, Orvax Event. Zurok activated the file. A blue projection glowed in the air, showing old video footage, blurry but still usable. The first scene showed a peaceful planet, lush forests, flying creatures, and a human delegation shaking hands with alien leaders. Then came footage of council ships orbiting the planet, blocking trade, stealing resources, lying to Earth's team. One frame showed the humans standing still, saying nothing, before silently boarding their ships and leaving just like they had now. The last image was a wide shot of Orvax from space down. Then, nothing. The entire planet turned black in one frame. No explosion, no fire, just gone. The recording ended. Curok sat down in silence. He tapped a secure line to the high speaker. They've done this before, he said, and the council buried it. Back on the council world, the high speaker received Zurich's message and ordered an emergency meeting of the inner circle. Only 5 members were invited. We need answers, the speaker said. We need to know what we are dealing with. Zurich was invited to explain. When he entered, every delegate stared at him. The humans walked away from Orvax without a threat, Within 3 days, the entire system went dark. It was wiped from memory, from records, even from basic nav maps, and no one ever found out how. No weapon, no trace. What are you suggesting? Asked the Vrekan representative. That they have something, Zurich said. Something hidden, something ancient. The high speaker's voice turned serious. What is EXO protocol? Zurich hesitated, then slowly opened an old tablet. It's a human-only command set, buried in their oldest diplomatic code, only activated in times of betrayal or danger. He pressed a key. The room went cold. A short line appeared. When diplomacy ends, isolation begins. When isolation begins, judgment follows. One delegate stood up in fear. They are going to judge us. Not us, Zurich said. Our worth, our actions, our choices. The humans built their empire on trust. We broke that trust. Now they're deciding who belongs in their future. Elsewhere, in the darkest sector of space, known as the Echo Fold, a fleet of human ships moved silently. No lights, no signals, each one cloaked in energy fields beyond known tech. Inside one of the lead ships, Commander Reina Torres stood before a massive screen showing star maps blinking red and blue. Her second officer asked, "Are we going forward with EXO protocol?" She nodded. The council spoke. "Now we answer, but isn't it a final?" Reina looked at him with calm eyes. "They called us arrogant. They tried to limit us. They stole from us. Again, they forgot history. But we remember. Earth remembers." A new signal came in, encrypted in old Earth code. It was from Orin. The AI core awakened earlier. Its message was clear. Target, Phase 1, monitor reactions. Begin isolation. Prepare decision matrix. Reina turned to her fleet. Activate Phase 1. Across 400 systems. Human embassies closed. Trade posts shut down. Satellites vanished from orbit. Even cultural links, music, language, learning centers were gone, and with each disappearance the alien races felt the weight of loss. They began to realize how much they had depended on Earth, not just for tech or defense but for hope. Back in the council chamber, the panic had turned into guilt. What if we were wrong? The Jari whispered. What if this was a mistake? The high speaker didn't respond. He simply stared at the human seat, still empty. Then something strange happened. Across dozens of alien planets, messages began appearing on screens and skyboards. Not threats, not warnings, just questions. What did humanity offer you? What did you offer them in return? Do you deserve a place in our future? Aliens everywhere were confused. Children asked parents what it meant. Teachers had no answers. Leaders feared rebellion. Fear was no longer about attack, it was about being left behind. Inside the secret Council Intelligence Tower, 2 analysts studied the pattern of human ship movements. One of them, a young alien named Kel, noticed something strange. "They're not preparing for war," he said. His partner looked confused. "What then?" "They're moving, building, shifting resources. But not for attack." Kel zoomed out on the galactic map. "They're building something new." His partner stared. "Like what?" "I don't know," Kel said. "But whatever it is, we're not invited." The humans had walked away, not out of fear, not out of anger, but out of belief that they didn't need the council anymore. And now the council was left with a terrifying thought. Maybe the humans were right. The edges of the galaxy were always quiet, cold, empty. These zones were known as the Outer Rim, where forgotten moons, lost stations, and abandoned colonies floated like dead memories. But now, whispers had started their strange signals, ships that didn't reply, screams that were cut off mid-sentence. In the deep mining colony of Haken 12, a routine supply ship named Darlawan approached a cargo outpost. The crew was tired, the journey long. The pilot, Captain Relk, checked his comms. No response from the station. He muttered. His co-pilot, a young female alien named Voska, frowned. "That's not normal, they always reply. Try again." Voska tapped the console. "This is Darlawan requesting landing clearance." "Repeat requesting clearance." Silence. Then static. And then one broken voice. "Get away. They're here. Humans." But not silence. Relk sat up straight. "Did he say humans?" Voska nodded. "But that can't be right. Earth cut all trade routes last week. There's no record of any ships scheduled here." The outpost below was dark. No lights, no beacons, but scanners showed life and heat. "I'm going down," Relk said. "Captain, wait. Something's wrong." But he had already disengaged the auto systems. The ship dropped into the atmosphere, slowly hovering above the landing pad. As the doors opened, cold air flooded the cargo bay. The station looked empty. No movement, no sound. Then, suddenly, they saw it, a figure in the shadows. Human, dash-shaped, tall, still wearing a suit marked with an old Earth logo, EXO Protocol, Omega 3. The figure didn't speak. Relk stepped forward. "Hey, are you all right?" No response. Then, without moving, the figure vanished like mist fading in light. Alarms on the ship screamed. All systems shut down. Lights blinked out. Comms were dead. Engines froze. Voska screamed. "Captain, the ship." They barely managed to launch the emergency escape beacon before total power failure. When rescue teams arrived 12 hours later, They found the ship, but no crew. Only a single message was burned into the floor of the station. "We are watching." Back at the Galactic Council, reports from the Outer Rim were piling up. Distress calls, broken transmissions, witnesses claiming to see Earth ships in places no one expected them. The Council command met in emergency again. "These are attacks," one warlord shouted. "The humans are testing us." But not everyone agreed. "There are no signs of violence," said Council Agent Fila. "No weapons fired, no damage, only fear." The High Speaker spoke slowly. "Then the fear itself is the weapon." Meanwhile, in a hidden moon base outside the known trade zones, Commander Reina Torres stood in front of a massive star map. Human markers lit up across the Outer Rim's and cloaked movements, recon units, AI scouts, observation probes. Her second officer approached. "Phase 2 complete, outer colonies observed." "Council is panicking." "Good," Reina said. "They don't understand our silence. They're not supposed to." The base AI spoke then. Its voice was deep, emotionless. "Orin Prime recommends Phase 3, contact through controlled exposure. Allow the whispers to grow." Reina nodded. "Let the galaxy wonder what we're becoming." Back in the core worlds, ordinary citizens were starting to ask questions. Why were the humans leaving? What had the Council done? Who would protect the borders now that Earth's fleets were gone? Even the children noticed it. Galactic classrooms once filled with human history videos were now blank. Learning satellites had stopped broadcasting Earth-based science, math, and medicine. A child on the planet Fiora asked his teacher, "Did we hurt the humans?" The teacher had no answer. Rumors began to spread that Earth had activated a secret weapon, that humans were evolving, that they had already moved beyond this galaxy, and in the outer systems, old abandoned beacons began to glow again. These were ancient Earth machines left behind during early exploration missions centuries ago. Now, they were reawakening. One of them, a tall spire on a dead moon, projected a repeating phrase in hundreds of alien languages. "We remember." Dute signed the Council's deep archive vault. Zurak, the historian, watched all these events unfold. He pulled up a chart comparing current human ship movements to those from the Orvax event. The patterns were almost identical. He tapped a secure line again. "High Speaker, they are recreating the past, not just reacting. They are testing us to see if we learned." The speaker's voice was weary. "And have we?" Zaruk sighed. "I don't know." On a planet known as Kelva-3, a Council patrol ship chased what they thought was a smuggler. They caught it. It wasn't a smuggler. It was a drone. A human drone. Sleek, black, silent. Inside was no cargo, just a glowing sphere with a message. "You locked us out. Now we've locked you in." The ship's systems failed. The message repeated in the captain's visor. "You locked us out. Now we've locked you in. You locked us out. Now we've locked you in." Across the galaxy, from rich trade cities to forgotten colonies, the fear spread, but it wasn't the fear of war. It was the fear of being forgotten, of being left behind. Humans had not attacked, but their absence felt like pressure, like the weight of 1,000 questions, and now the galaxy had to face. The hardest one were the humans planning to return, or had they already moved on without them? The Galactic Council was falling apart. Meetings had become shouting matches, allies had become enemies. The human silence was turning the strongest civilizations into frightened, paranoid leaders. Trade networks collapsed. Planets began closing. Borders AI networks reported rising panic in over 80 systems. The humans didn't need to fire a single weapon. Their silence was loud enough. In the middle of this storm, the High Speaker called a private council of only 5 of the oldest and wisest leaders of the major species. The room was sealed. No recordings, no drones, just fear, shame, and one final hope. "We can no longer guess," the Speaker said. "The whispers grow stronger. The Outer Rim is under their eyes. They are building something. We must reach them," said the Vrikan elder, his voice trembling. The Yelka general grunted. "With what are fleets, they'll vanish like the last patrol." "You want to provoke war?" "No," the High Speaker said. "We don't send ships." He paused, then spoke the most dangerous idea of all. "We send ourselves." The room went still. "You mean a delegation?" Jari diplomat hissed. "Yes," said the Speaker, unarmed, honest, last chance. The vote was silent but clear. The Council would send 5 representatives to Earth. The risk was extreme, but the alternative? Eternal separation. 1 week later, a sleek silver ship left Council space, carrying a diplomatic team of 5, one from each of the major races. It had no weapons, no escorts, only a message: "We seek understanding." They expected to be turned away, but instead, a response came. Short, cold: "You may land, but only one voice will be heard." The ship landed on Earth's outer orbit, station once known as Unity Point, now renamed simply Gate 1. There were no humans to greet them, only silence, and a single path lit with white lights. The aliens followed the path. The hallways were clean, too clean, no noise, no emotion. Then, they reached it, a circular room with a single chair. In that chair sat a human child, a girl, no older than 10. She looked at them with calm eyes. "No fear, are you?" Their representative, the Vrikan asked. The girl nodded. They sent a child, whispered the Jari. The girl smiled softly. They sent someone honest. Before they could reply, the room changed. The walls glowed. A massive AI hologram appeared behind the child, towering silent. Its name appeared above. It Oren Prime Earthwide Judgment. AI. The child spoke again. You didn't come to apologize. You came to escape what's coming. The council members shifted nervously. The AI activated a screen. Images played one after another. Council ships stealing resources from neutral colonies. Secret meetings to block Earth's influence. Hidden plans to limit human expansion. Years of quiet betrayal. All the lies. All the politics now shown in the open. This is what we remember, the child said. Do you? The high speaker stepped forward. We came to listen. To make things right. The child tilted her head. Why now? The speaker lowered his head. Because we were wrong. The room went silent for a long time. Then the AI spoke, its voice deep and mechanical. Judgment is not punishment. It is choice. The walls shifted again. Now they showed two paths. One was dark, empty, showing old council systems, cold and abandoned. The second path showed Earth ships moving toward the edge of the galaxy, building new stations, terraforming new worlds, forming their own future. You may choose, the AI said, to stay where you are or to grow beside us, but only one way allows your voice to be heard. The Jari delegate asked, what do we need to do? The AI replied, no more controlling hands, no more secret votes. Join us as equals, or not at all. Then the room opened. Behind them the path to their ship was lit again. The message was clear. There would be no council anymore, only choice. The delegates returned home in silence. Some wanted to accept Earth's terms. Others were angry, ashamed, or afraid. But one thing was now known across the stars. The humans would not return to the table. They were building a new one, and only those who could learn from their mistakes would be welcome in the coming days. Across hundreds of systems, something unbelievable began to happen. Earth stations reactivated, but only on selected worlds. Those that had not voted against humans, those that had once stood beside them. Trade lanes reopened, but only for planets that chose reform. Old enemies were left behind. The human message was not revenge, it was evolution, and the galaxy finally understood. They were no longer the center. Humanity had outgrown the council, and now, the council had to decide: adapt or vanish. The galaxy waited. Every planet, every moon, every species, all eyes were now watching Earth, but Earth didn't watch back. There were no press releases, no public speeches, no negotiations, just silence and slow, steady change. The humans were leaving the old ways behind. In secret zones of deep space, massive structures began to rise, stations the size of small planets, built with new materials and advanced designs. These weren't military, they were something else, something new. They called it the Nexus Ring. A place where only those who accepted Earth's terms would be allowed to trade, live, or speak. The council, once proud and powerful, now felt like a ghost. Many seats were empty. Delegates resigned. Worlds that once depended on council authority were now looking toward Earth for leadership. Some planets begged for forgiveness, others warned of retaliation. But humanity didn't respond to threats. They only listened to actions. On the planet Varan 6, a young alien leader named Sorel stood before her people. Our past alliances brought only weakness, she said. The humans walked away, because we never stood with them. But now, we choose a different future, a future beside them. Her speech was broadcast to Earth. That night, the stars above Varan 6 shifted. A human station appeared in orbit without warning, and a message was sent. You remembered? The crowd on Varan 6 cheered. Inside the Earth's core AI network, Oren Prime analyzed millions of messages, decisions, histories, and intentions. It judged not with hate, but with logic, with memory, with vision. In a hidden chamber under the Atlantic Ocean, Earth's last council representative Marcus Hell stood watching the galaxy map. Red dots showed the council worlds that had rejected reform. Blue dots marked those who had reached out with honesty. Behind him, a voice spoke. It was Reina Torres. They finally see it, she said. Marcus nodded. It just took silence for them to hear. Do you think they'll change? He sighed. Some will, others won't, but we won't wait anymore. The council tried one last message. This time not from the high speaker, but from the ordinary citizens of many planets. A united voice. Simple, honest. We were wrong. We chose power over peace. Will you still give us a future? For the first time in weeks, Earth responded. A black screen appeared across millions of devices. Then a human face. It was not a leader, not a soldier, just a young woman in simple clothes. She spoke, slowly, kindly, but firmly. You asked if we will give you a future. But the truth is, it was never ours to give. Your future is yours to build. She paused. We are not your rulers, we are not your enemies, but we are no longer your followers either. We believed in unity, you believed in control. That's why we left. Then the screen changed again. A new symbol appeared. a circle with a shining star at the center. The Nexus Initiative, a new galactic era begins. The voice returned. If you still believe in equality, in truth, in progress, then come, not to beg, not to bargain, but to build, together, as equals. The council was finished, not destroyed, by weapons, but replaced by a better idea. On hundreds of worlds, people marched in peace, lighting the skies with messages. We choose the Nexus. Earth was right. No more lies, no more fear. Old council halls were shut down. Broken laws were deleted. New paths were opened, and one by one, human ships returned, not to rule but to invite, to watch, to welcome and to remember. In a quiet forest on Earth, the human girl who had spoken to the council delegation sat under a tree. She looked up at the stars. Her mother sat beside her. Did they understand? The girl asked. Some did, her mother said, and some never will. Then why did we give them another chance? Her mother smiled. Because once, someone gave us a chance to. The girl nodded, and the stars above began to move again. Ships, lights, new voices, a new galaxy, being born. The judgment was never about punishment. It was a test, and those who learned, who listened, who grew, they passed.